at Highlight Crafts, and I've got some new friends. Well, I've got some new friends out there as well, so thank you so much for joining me. But I'd like to I'd like to introduce you to Barney, Blinky and Boo. I'm being a bit mean really, aren't I, because I'm not showing you them. Look at these characters. Oh, goodness me. They're the cutest little baby owls, and you know the reflections, we've got them with their eyes open, we've got them with them winking, and we've got them fast asleep. I cannot wait to show you these on Create and Craft on Wednesday. I'm going to be there at 7 AM with them, and I've got some finished samples that I'm going to show you now, and I'm going to talk you through how to use them. I've also got two special offers. We've got this amazing new thing for Facebook Lives. Somebody's going to get £10. I know, £10, a gift card for £10. All you've got to do is like and share the video. And then the other thing is, next week, just so you know, so we're sort of starting to get into the swing of things, starting to get a little bit more settled. So this is Wednesday. This is our launch on Create and Craft. So the three little owls, cute characters, and I'll show you loads of stuff with those in a minute. And then I want to show you these two characters, because these two are going to be the ones that you're going to get on the Highlight webpage, but they won't be available until next week, and then they'll have the free reflect. Absolutely gorgeous. And then the next one that we've got is Oscar, and Oscar is in full flight. Just to give you an idea of the size, there they are. These are the grown-ups, but we're going to launch on Create and Craft with the babies. So let's take a look at the size of them. Never mind that, let's put those out the way and let me show you this. This is what the collection's going to look like. Now, it's called Nature's Homestead, so it really is being in nature, being in the woods, and actually being in their homes. So what have we got for you? Well, we've got this fabulous tree trunk, then the little owls that you can see here, and then of course some ferns and some fabulous designs. The tree trunk is actually one of the nested reflections. So remember, we're talking here to Red Robins, we're talking about having nested picture dies. That is one of them. So I'm going to take you through some of the samples, and I'm going to go back and show you the next level. So here's another one for you to see, and this one has got that lovely tall branch, some beautiful new primula that are very delicate that you'd see on the forest floor. There's our fabulous owl, and then the backgrounds that we've also got. You're going to be seeing a watering can in multiple colours, and we've got the pussy willow and catkins as well, they're included. Here are three more of the owls all together, and again building a scene. I hope you're liking it. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a real pleasure to have your company. I wanted to show you this one because two of them are asleep and one of them's winking. So take a look at this. So the reflections is either wide awake, winking, yep, that's me winking at you, or actually fast asleep. Oh, sorry, am I doing a Facebook Live? But that, and one die will do all three character faces. Isn't that fantastic? Here's another one, so you can see here. I'm loving this kind of one for perhaps our friends in America, you know, where you've got sort of quite barren desert. Don't you think that would look quite good for there? Still with that English twist. Right, now, this next one. So, what I really wanted to bring you was, because remember we're storytelling, so the story here is about the three baby owls, and the owls are, all of them are in the nest, and they're in the hollow of the tree, and they're right. Can you imagine as a child the stories that I used to come up with? So we've got the hollow of the tree with the baby owls in there, and there's the hole that mummy comes in to feed them through, and they're all fighting to be able to get their head out and have a look at the big wide world. So that meant we're going to need a die that will allow us to cut a hollow and cut into that tree branch. So how about see right inside the tree, and the owl is in there sleepy, just waking up, waiting for mum and dad to come back. Here's another one where actually using the tree and the owls to create a shaped card. And one of the things that I'm loving for the end of 2021 is that we're going to do much more shaped cards rather than just having the basic standard square shape. I think this one is so clever, and this is where you're going to see we've got the fork and spade, another die that you've been asking for. These were already in the pipeline, by the way. It's almost like we're mind reading with each other. There are the catkins at the top. Gone back and used the barbed wire from previous collections, and then there are our owls there. This is one where we've just got the making the most of having the spade and fork at the side. Personal favourites, because this is showing the owls actually at the field, at the edge of the field, looking over as we've been harvesting, just seeing, maybe even seeing if they can see their friends, the field mice, but they're really engaging and giving you that story. Another favourite, peeking out again, but look at the way this card's been done. Over the edge, so taking the branches of that tree right over the edge, maybe even playing with your faux finishes as well. And the leaves, you're going to find those as part of this collection. One more here, showing you how we can take the scene behind and bring the design over the top. So lots of scene building and really exciting cards. We're going to be doing more of that. Then I'm going back here to our old boot. Remember the boot, which is still available on the Highlight website. You can see there, that is another. The watering can, let another one of these nested dies. So a nested die with, of course, all of the reflections to go with it. The lid's loose on this, it's been snipped into. The flowers are just gorgeous. And the whole thing is freestanding. What a card to send to somebody who loves their garden. Here's another one, actually, where the owls are just chosen to rest on that on the oh, I nearly said plant pot. No, that one's coming up. But you're seeing them resting there on the watering can. And then I'm just going to give you a quick reminder of all of them. Aren't they just adorable? So you've now had the first sneaky peek of the next collection that's coming up. So the owls and the robins are best friends. You can bring in your owls from previous collections, and these are all going to enhance what you've already got. So I'm going to put these to one side. How this is going to work. So, excuse me, first of all, remember, anybody who likes and shares the video will get entered for that £10 gift card. The next thing is I have got a couple of deals for you, but they're only valid for 48 hours. So if I show you them, don't shout at me if you are watching this, let's say next Wednesday, because if you decide that you want to do this, this deal is only literally the next 48 hours. And basically it's as simple as, if you were to purchase this, we're going to send you this as well. So those are going to go together, and of course they fit brilliantly. One is the perfect size for the other one. And then the other one I've got is, I've also got the broken wheel, or the summer spokes, and this one and this set. So purchase this and get this as a bonus. So that's the package that's going to come through the post. So I've got cut lots of spokes, lots of walls and lots of fences, because just so you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different brick walls and 3 different fences in that one die alone. Right, so I'm taking here, I've got the owls, and I've just picked this one up as a random, and I'm going to place it down on the top, and I'm going to start working here so you can see what I'm doing. Now, I'm looking at this design and thinking, if I've got my walls and my gates, how am I going to perhaps enhance this? Well, I think the first thing that I would do is I would probably look at putting an old one of the spokes there, making it look like the little owl that we've got here is actually sitting on top of it. So that's one idea. Okay, here's our watering can. Well, what might we do with this? Well, how about we take the wall and we just put the wall behind it. So I'm just going to put it behind each side of the watering can. Just a little bit of it poking out one side and more of it poking out the other. But changing the card. Look at the difference if I take this away and then if I put this in place. Hello everybody, thank you for joining. I'm just sorry I'm having the best time. We've got a new way of working for you. We're giving away a £10 gift card, so anybody who likes and shares at the bottom after this post will actually get entered into that. We'll put the dates on times of the show, because I'm actually launching all of these fabulous collections on Wednesday, and I think it's going to be 7:30 in the morning, so that's an early start for me. So let me tell you a little bit about the way the studios work. This is interesting. So if I go live with the team at 7:30 a.m, I have to, before that show, I have to have prepped with the presenter. That means go through every single item that we've got, talk to them about all the different deals that we've done and the idea behind the product and why I did what I did and what my demonstrations are going to be, so that they can be really prepared for it. Then the other person that the presenter, myself, have to present with, prep with, is the producer. Now the producer is the person who is in the gallery and they're talking to us in our ears. They're telling the presenter what product they want to work on next, but they're telling the guests what they want them to do next. So they're like my eyes and ears, if you like. And then the director will come and talk to me, and what he or she will do is they will say to me, let's say for instance, this is going to be my demonstration, and I'm going to talk them through what I'm going to do, that maybe I might want to cut the first watering can, but the second one I'll have already done, and the third one I'm not even going to put the spout on, because that's separate, so it makes it into sort of like a metal container. And so I might tell them that I'm going to cut this piece, everything else will be cut. I'm going to show everybody how to assemble it, and then I'm going to take my wheel and I'm just going to show them how you can take other elements from other collections and pop that in place, and it gives you a different look. So I will be talking to the director about when we need to get a close-up so that you can see the detail that we're actually working with. So producer, director and presenter, they're the first three people. Then you go into the studio, and in the studio, because of COVID, obviously we're being really careful, but the counter will already be set up and we have what we call a pack shot. And I hope you don't mind me telling all this. Quite interesting, and perhaps when things get a little bit better you'll be able to come and see them. And actually I'm going to tell you this, we are hoping to go and have a look round. Hard hats, you know, it'll be like being on a building site. We're going to go and have a look at our new premises that are being built for us, and in there we are actually building 2 TV studio. I'm just like, I've never had anything this exciting. It's like the best thing that's ever happened in my life, except my husband and my grandchildren, and my sister, of course, my dad, but it ranks up there with them. And we're going to be able to do our Facebook Lives, but more than that, we're going to do all this educational video stuff, which I just can't wait to share with you. Hours and hours of us crafting together, which is just, we're going to bring you online classes as well. It's going to be amazing. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yes, so when you get into the studio, we have what we call a pack shot, and that's where you see what the deal is, what products you've actually got, and what you're going to be able to buy, what the offer is. And then we've got our floor managers and magic hands, and they're all there setting everything up, all being COVID safe and friendly and everything. I normally have a desk to sit and craft at, because I have so much stuff around me that it doesn't fit on a counter. It ends up falling off, making a noise. But that's basically the setup. Now all of that takes at least 2 hours. So if I'm on at 7:30, that's 6:30, 5:30. It means I have to be actually available in the studio by 5:30 a.m. in the morning. I live 2 hours away. So that means, well, an hour and 50 minutes. So that means I need to leave home at 5:30 to 4:30 to 3:30. Well, probably 3:45 if I sort of am good with the traffic. 3:45. Life and it's in the afternoon, so that means that I'll be in Peterborough on Tuesday evening. So I'll be over there probably 20 minutes from the studio, so I know that I'll definitely be there on time. But yeah, that's how early we all get up. I know, no wonder I look 110. Right, so thank you for just joining us. It's a pleasure to have your company. I'm just going to put these to one side and I want to show you this one. So this has been designed with the owl on top of the tree trunk with that lovely, lovely design. And of course, we've got the sentiment at the top. But what I'd like to do is just slide that wall inside. Look at the difference it makes. I'm going to take it out and then just slide that back in. It really makes a difference because it's giving us more depth and dimension. So here is one that's been done, and the wall is actually part of the print. But what you're going to notice is that the design actually is cut away so that we've got the front of the card completely separate. Really is, and this is designer card making. It's very exciting. This one, the little owl at the bottom. Now here, because we've got have a hoot and we've got the spade handle at the back, you can see that I could put that old the circle here, but I would probably be tempted on this one to just break away some of the things. Let me take out some of the spokes just like that and have it so it's just leaning up against but a bit broken and just tucked in there. Or I might want to cut that bit away completely and just have it so that there's a bit of it over the front and a bit of it just lying down as if it's literally just fallen in front of the tree trunk. So that's another idea for you. Let's go back into all these beautiful samples. Else, but you're worth it. Seriously, well, we all are, aren't we? So this is another one where we've got the tree trunks there and then the wall, and this already has the wall and the gate inside. So there's our wall, here's our gate, and these are dies that have been lifted, so you can see that they've got the perfect position for them to go. I'm going to put that one to one side, and then I've got another one here, and this one again layered up the tree trunk, so you've got all of that dimension put in here. This is a photographic style background, but I'm just going to put in there, lifting that up to slide it in place, and there is, just trim that piece off for us so it finishes off. And in fact, I think so I'm going to take that right up there. That looks fabulous. So that's really finishing off the design. So another way of using them. And then this one. Now this is actually one of my personal favourites because I love that we've got the field, we've got the corn, little hint to maybe some of the things that are coming up later. Here's our little owl, he's wide awake. And it just is this beautiful scene of countryside, but it doesn't have to end there. We could take the wheel and just lean it up against the front, gives us another sense of dimension. Or what about taking this tiny wall that I've got here and just placing it, so I'm going to need a couple of pieces, so there's one of them, let's get another one there, and just taking the wall across. So we're looking over the wall now to see it's an exciting way of crafting and having all of the different elements to be able to go. And I think what this does is it explains to you how valuable it is to have and keep adding to your collections, because so much more you can do with it. And then I've got this one. So there are no owls on here. So it might be that you just want to dip in and out of this collection. No owls. These flowers are from one of the previous collections. Here's the tree, a few little sprigs coming off. Just love that, don't you, in spring when they start to come. Somebody's just left the spade there, ready to do some work later on. And it's ready for a gate. Where are we going to put, where is that gate going to go? Well, let's make it so that it's definitely in proportion. And I think it probably needs to go somewhere about there. And that would tuck under the tree. And so you've got so many different sizes to be able to keep everything in proportion. And there was just something before, when I was starting this, I was thinking I must show you this. And it is this. Here, this card is completely flat, but I want to get hold of the front part of it. And I'm just going to bevel the tree trunk. And if you were sticking this down, I'd pad the centre out with some foam pads. But I wanted to bevel it because I wanted you to be able to see what a difference it makes when you've got that bevel there, and you can open up your card and you've got those elements. But it's asking inside, I think, for something to finish this off. So I've got a few choices. I could put my gate just there, as if it's just sort of in the woodlands, waiting for you to go through to the wood. Bit of a wall, and let's get that cut so that I can get that tucked under there. And we can do, probably shouldn't have cut that straight, actually. Would have looked better if it had got, no, it would definitely look better if I'd weaved in and out of these pebbles and stones. So let's put that there, so a little bit of the wall. And then what about the wheel just leaning up against it? So each time that we do this, we're getting a different look and feel, and it's changing the cards. So what are we going to send these for? Well, I think these are just hooting to say hello. It's come and play, come out to play, hello, happy birthday, congratulations, from one neighbour to another. I love the idea of doing that. From the three of us to you, thinking about you. Ooh. Owls, I need to practice my owl impressions. I'm definitely going to have to practice those. I need to come up with some puns. Please help me out for Wednesday morning next week. Got a while for you to think of some. Email me them. Oh, I know what it could say. It could say Twitter. Ooh. So we could have that as well. I'll tell you what, I'll see if between us and the team we can get some done on a sheet and do them as a download with some words that I'll use on the website when we do the show. So happy birthday, twit, woo. That's what we'll do. That's going to keep me entertained all evening tonight. Just before I go, I just want to tell you this. Did any of you watch when I was doing a show today on the US? Some of you, if you're watching the US, I do hope you joined us, because we've got lots more hours for you there. And I think you can watch it online as well. You can watch them on Facebook. And I was telling a story about, we were talking about how we actually, and things like this is really actually really interesting, because things like this wall and these gates, these are very much our Derbyshire dry stone walls. So that's the inspiration for it. And I was talking about a stately home near us called Chatsworth, and the Queen's cousins live there. And well, I technically might not have that exactly right, but whether it's a cousin, but they're royal family anyway. and they it's a really massive mansion, and it's very, very posh. And a few years ago they had an auction, an attic sale of everything, and Christie's did it, and they did, or Sotheby's, they did this great big catalogue. Had to pay for it. It was cost a fortune. But because we live in a really old house, we thought there might be some kind of link. It's a long story, but I'll tell you the short version. So anyway, Carl and I went, and in the catalogue, the first thing was this beautiful four-poster bed. It was amazing, beautifully carved, and the drapes and everything. Well, when I was telling this story earlier, I couldn't actually tell it because I started laughing, because what happened was the marquees were amazing. I mean, I've been to weddings into this marquee, and lot number one, which was this amazing bed, looked like it was got ready for the bonfire. It was a pile of old wood, so it was a DIY do-it-yourself thing. So clearly they dismantled it and put it up in the loft. Well, I hope I'm not going to get done for treason for talking about the Queen's family. Oh, I don't think so. It's meant in the best taste. Anyway, you got pictures of beautiful china. Well, when it got there, of course, it had actually been in the attic, so some of it was chipped, or some of it was perfect, but not all of it. But my favourite bit was the taxidermy section, because they were in the catalogues. They were beautiful pictures of, I think some of them were just animals that had been found on the I like to think they'd been found, that had just passed over on the estate. But of course they'd been in the loft, and so you know, the fox's tail wasn't quite as fluffy as it should have been, and the beady eyes weren't quite as beady. And I don't know why I was telling you that, but oh yeah, anyway, we never bought anything because I couldn't afford it. So I think one of the things that next time I'd like to talk to you is, where is the place that you've been that you have expected something, and when you got there it was completely different? And let's get the stories in before the Facebook Live so that I can share some of them with everybody. So if anybody's been anywhere and when they got there, now I know, so you've seen this fabulous restaurant, but when you open the door, doesn't look anything like it. Or you've seen a dress online. You've seen them, haven't you? You've seen a dress online and it turns up and it is nothing like the one that you saw on dress. Where you are in the world, and I would love to share those stories, pictures as well, if you've got them, and I'll think of a few of mine, because I can already think of a couple. Might be in trouble with Carl, but never mind, it's worth it. So huge thank you to everybody that joined us. We're going to be doing more of these. Don't forget that £10 that is there for everybody that puts their post and their details on below, and also the 2 deals that we've got. So if you buy this one, we'll send you this as well. If you buy this one, we'll send you this as well. And on Wednesday, join me to meet our new family of friends that are just exquisite. And I'm going to show you in detail how to build some of the projects that I've got here, and a few little tricks that we're going to build into 2 Red Robins. So massive thank you, everybody. It's been a real pleasure. I probably enjoy this much more than you, because as long as everybody's having a good time, that's what it's all about. So thank you once again. See you all. Take care, everybody. Lots of love.